As a kid, I grew up with the Masters of the Universe toy line from Mattel and watched the Filmation produced He-Man the Masters of the Universe series. But even after the show ended, I was not quite aware that it had a live action movie until I saw it a few years later when I was in my early youth. Well, my not early youth, but going on in my teens. So prepare yourselves, because I'm going to be talking about the Masters of the Universe movie and why it has become a cult classic. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dolph, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1987 superhero flick Masters of the Universe, also stylized as Masters of the Universe the Motion Picture. The film was released by the Cannon Group, directed by Gary Goddard, produced by Yoram Globus and Menahem Golan, who of course produced numerous other films for the studio. Written by David L. Dale, featuring Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, along with Frank Langella as Skeletor, plus John Cypher, Chelsea Field, Billy Barty, Courteney Cox, Robert Duncan McNeill, and Meg Foster. The film was released in August of 1987, based on the Mattel toy line of the same name, and tells the story of two teenagers who meet the most powerful man in the universe, He-Man, and his friends, who arrive on Earth by chance from their home planet Eternia and go on a mission to save the universe from their enemies, Skeletor and Evil Lyn. Despite the film was a big disappointment, a commercial failure, it still was regarded as a cult classic. Now, on the war-torn planet Eternia, the evil warlord Skeletor has seized control of Castle Grayskull, the center of power in the universe. His army has scattered the remaining Eternian defenders, and Skeletor has captured the sorceress of Grayskull, imprisoning her within a power-draining field and planning to seize over the power and the entire universe by the next moonrise. But his arch enemies, the warrior leader He-Man, veteran soldier Man-at-Arms, and his daughter Teela, rescued the Thenorian locksmith Gwildor from Skeletor's troopers. Gwildor reveals that Skeletor has acquired his invention, a cosmic key that can open a portal to anywhere by utilizing musical notes. The device was stolen by Skeletor's second in command, Evil Lyn, allowing Skeletor to breach Grayskull. With Gwildor's remaining prototype of the key in hand, He-Man and his friends travel to the castle, and they attempt to free the sorceress, but are overwhelmed by Skeletor's army and forced to flee through a hastily opened portal via Gwildor's cosmic key, transporting them to Earth. The key is lost upon their arrival and discovered by two California teenagers, orphaned high school girl Julie Winston and her boyfriend Kevin Corrigan. While experimenting with the device, they accidentally transmit a signal that allows Evil Lyn to track it. She then sends Skeletor's henchmen, Saurod, Blade, and Beastman and Karg to recover it. Kevin, an aspiring musician, believes the key to be a new Japanese synthesizer and takes it to a music store run by his friend Charlie. Back at the school, Skeletor's henchmen arrive through a portal and chase Julie until she is rescued by He-Man, who is in search of the key. The henchmen retreat to Grayskull, where, incensed by their failure, Skeletor kills Saurod and sends the others back to Earth, with a larger force under Evil Lyn's command. Back on Earth, Kevin returns to the school to find police investigating the damage caused by Skeletor's men and no sign of Julie. Kevin is then taken to Julie's house by Lubick, a detective investigating the disturbance. They find no trace of her at the house, but Lubick is suspicious of the cosmic key, which he suspects Kevin may have stolen. So he confiscates the key, Lubick, and leaves for Charlie's music store to verify Kevin's story. Immediately afterward, Evil Lyn and her team break into the house and interrogate Kevin regarding the key's location using a mind control collar before pursuing Lubick. Julia and the Aturians arrive and release Kevin from the collar, then pursue Lubick and the key. They arrive at Charlie's store, but Skeletor's forces catch up with them, and a pitched battle ensues. Evil Lyn recovers the key and summons Skeletor to Earth. Skeletor's forces capture the Aturians, and Julie is wounded by Skeletor's lightning blast, which simultaneously erases the memory storage of Gwildor's key. He-Man surrenders to save his comrades and is returned to Eternia as Skeletor's slave. Skeletor attempts to torture He-Man into submission to make his victory complete, but He-Man refuses to yield. The moment arrives for Skeletor to receive the power of the cosmos and declare himself the master of the universe. He uses his new powers to attempt to force He-Man to kneel. Now for the ending and final act, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I'm counting down, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Back on Earth, Gwildor repairs the cosmic key and Kevin recreates the tones necessary to create a gateway to Eternia. The group, including Lubick, as he attempts to arrest him, are transported to Grayskull, where they begin battling Skeletor's forces. Resenting that Skeletor absorbed the power of the universe while sharing it with her, Evil Lyn deserts him along with his other henchmen. He-Man retrieves the sword of Grayskull, and he and Skeletor begin a final battle in which he shatters Skeletor's staff, restoring him to his normal state. He-Man offers mercy, but Skeletor draws a concealed sword and attempts to kill He-Man. As Skeletor lunges at him, He-Man knocks Skeletor into a vast pit below. The freed sorceress heals Julie, and Gwildor opens a portal to send the Earthlings home. Hailed as a hero for his bravery, Lubick decides to remain on Eternia. Back on Earth, Julie awakens on the morning of her parents' deaths in a plane crash. Realizing the key has transported her back in time, she prevents her parents from taking the ill-fated flight by taking their keys, then runs outside to find Kevin. He confirms that their experiences were real, producing a souvenir from Eternia, a small blue spear containing a scene of He-Man in front of Castle Grayskull with his sword raised above his head. And in a post-credit scene, Skeletor's head emerges from the water at the bottom of the pit saying, "I'll be back," in the story. So what did I think of Masters of the Universe? Well, while I've only seen it a few times, I must say it's an alright movie. I mean, while it is a shame they don't have much of the, well, great characters that we all know and what have you, and I know it got dissed and what have you, but nevertheless, it became a cult classic. Anyway, the Can Group touted this as the Star Wars of the 1980s. Despite releasing alongside the height of the success of the toy line, the animated series, and related merchandise, it began as the third highest grossing film of the weekend in North America on August 7 when it opened behind Stakeout and The Living Daylights. And it quickly left the charts, as it only went on to became a commercial failure, making only $17 million in the US. It was released in the Philippines by Solar Films a month later. Well, despite the film is at 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, they say the film is a slapdash adaptation of the He-Man mythos that can't overcome its cynical laugh of raison d'etre. If I mispronounced that, I apologize. No matter how admirably Frank Langella throws himself into the role of Skeletor. Variety called it a Conan and Star Wars hybrid ripoff that is a colossal bore. The New York Times said, however, if you like the toy, you'll love the movie. The LA Times called it a misfiring, underdone epic. And the Chicago Tribune wrote that the film, while predictable and derivative, entertains audiences through its side plots set on Earth. Now, several reviewers praised Frank Langella's portrayal of Skeletor. And I'm going to say, he was fine, why have you. He told the press he loved playing the character and worked very hard to make the role as exciting as possible, remarking that it was a positive experience. Well, this, along with Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, which was released the same year, look for a re-review of that film coming up later on this November, and Life Force, contributed to the eventual closure of Canon Films. They had intended to create a sequel to this, indicated by the end credits. And the sequel was to be called Masters of the Universe 2 Revenge of the Beast. It was written, and the script featured He-Man returned to Earth to battle Skeletor, who had returned to Earth and possessed the body of a big business entrepreneur named Dark, taking control of the technology of Dark Industries in a new effort to take over the universe. On his trail, He-Man was to take on the guise of a professional quarterback to pursue his enemy undercover. And pro surfer Laird Hamilton was set to replace Dolph Lundgren. Oh well. Nobody's perfect and what have you. And Lundgren's portrayal of He-Man was his first leading role after playing Ivan Drago in Rocky IV a couple years before that. Anyway, yeah, it was fine, what have you. It has been released on physical media by Warner Home Video. Now, even though MGM holds the rights to the library of Canon Films, but, well, for distribution, what have you. But yeah. Anyway, I've seen it, and again, it's fine and what have you. But however, another good thing about it is that was its score done by Bill Conti, who recently did the scores for the Rocky films as well as the Karate Kid films, For Your Eyes Only, and The Right Stuff. Which that's actually celebrating its anniversary this year, 40th anniversary, but I haven't watched that in a long time. I don't know when I'll review that. But anyway, the score was fine, what have you. Now for our cast, aside from Dolph Lundgren as He-Man and Frank Langella as Skeletor, they were both not too bad. Courteney Cox, still a ways before her big break on TV's Friends, even though she was actually starring on, well, a recurring character on, or should I say, star on TV's Family Ties, played Julie Winston. She did pretty good. Barry Livingston played Charlie. James Tolkien, who I'm sure I know that name anywhere, he was well known for playing Mr. Strickland in Back to the Future and later its sequel. And he also went on to appear. He also recently appeared in Top Gun and also appeared in Dick Tracy and Problem Child 2 as well. Christina Pickles plays the sorceress of Grayskull. Well, not quite as well look as the one we know from the toy line and the Filmation cartoon. She was fine, what have you. Meg Foster played Evil Lynn. She was good. Chelsea Field played Tila. I thought she was pretty good. And John Cypher played Man at Arms. Of course, he was already well known for playing Chief of Police Fletcher Daniels on TV's Hill Street Blues at the time. And playing Gwildor is Billy Barty, who, of course, you may know his work from numerous Saturday morning shows, most notably ones from Sid and Marty Krofft. And Robert Duncan McNeill played Kevin Corrigan. So anyway, yeah. Now, again, it is a shame we don't get to see other characters from the Masters of the Universe line. That's kind of one of my biggest gripes with the film. Oh well. Now, they've been saying they're going to try and reboot this and what have you, but it's been in limbo for many years. And well, Sony currently has the rights to this. But we don't know when they'll have it ready. They're going to work on it or what have you. Who knows? But anyway, the story was fine, and the cast wasn't too bad, and their characters as well. The score from Bill Conti was, however, good and what have you. So overall, Masters of the Universe, it's a mixed bag. You be the judge. But would I recommend it? Well, I'd say only maybe a one-time watch. Especially if you are a big-time He-Man fan, then I'd say go for it. But I would say just be on the safe side. A one-time watch would do it all right. So anyway, what did you think of Masters of the Universe? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my September 2023 rewatches ranking. So if you like this, consider checking out these other videos. In the upper left-hand corner is my TV log revisited on the He-Man, the Masters of the Universe series itself from 1983. Or if you'd like something else with this kind of feel that came out after this, go to the upper right hand corner and see my review of Willow from 1988, or go to the bottom left hand corner and see my review for the re-review for a film that really started off a big franchise, and that was Star Wars from 1977, the original, A New Hope, episode 7, episode 4. I'm getting tongue-tied here. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.